What's up? It is I, DPX here. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast, DPX Talks, for about an hour. Today, sorry about that. Today, we have, I got an interesting episode. I was supposed to get a guest on, but yeah, it's a reoccurring thing how I can't get a guest on, but, next month for sure. I almost didn't even have an episode this month. I already did the WrestleMania one earlier this month, but, you know, I didn't do a normal gaming or news episode last month, so I gotta do one this month, man. So yeah, about why there wasn't one last month, you probably know, like, a lot of stuff happened in my personal life, and I basically, like, had to put a lot of things on hold. You know, the solo missions, which you would know what happened if you watch that. The solo missions came out like a full 2 weeks after I originally had it planned to come out. And just a lot of stuff, like, I was just trying to, like, readjust to, like, a new norm, and, you know, I never got around to doing this episode. But yeah, we're back with another episode. We got some interesting topics. We got the Activision, Microsoft Activision acquisition getting blocked by UK regulators. We'll talk about that. A little late on this, but Hi-Fi Rush disappoints sales-wise. We'll talk about that. The Street Fighter 6 demo is out. I'll be going over each character in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and I'll be talking about how likely I think each character is to die. WWE, there's a new World Heavyweight Champion, and it's got people talking. So the Star Wars Jedi Survivor file size is fucking massive. There's also Star Wars Jedi Survivor as a giant... I'm going crazy. I think I just said that. Power Rangers Once and Always. I'll have a little review for that, and the Mario movie box office. I'll have some things to say about that, but first, there's some smaller topics I want to talk about. One is, so yeah, sorry about that, I just got a call from a job, and, you know, kind of takes priority, but, so I'm applying for a new job, but, I kind of forgot what I was talking about, but, yeah, I was going to talk about this, Armored Core. I'm not the biggest... I'm not going to pretend I know a fucking thing about Armored Core. I mean, like, I know it was, like, From Software's big franchise before they did Demon Souls and all the Souls games. You know, and there's 5 of them. They're coming out the 6th one. And it is somewhat cool to see that, From Software, who've been doing these Soulsborne games for a very long time, over 10 years, do something else, you know? That's really cool. Well, they just released some new gameplay and some news about Armored Core 6, as they announced Armored Core 6, like, back at the Game Awards. They released some new gameplay. It looks really cool. It's coming out August 25th. So that's pretty cool. I might get it. You know, I need to play the other Armored Core games. And, like, I've seen a lot of excitement for this. Like, but, like, I didn't think there was an audience for Armored Core. You know, still, like, obviously there's the older people. I'm not calling people who like this game old. That came out wrong. I meant to say, like, people who are already fans of Armored Core. But then there's, like, some younger people I've seen get excited over this. So Armored Core, it does have a bit more of an audience than I thought. So I might get it, I don't know, August. I know Sea of Stars comes out in August. I'm really excited for that game, and that's, like, coming out August. I forget the date, actually. I think it's around that same time, though. Let's see, Sea of Stars release date. It's like August 29th. Okay, so not the same day. When two games come out on the same day, I have to pick one or the other. I can't just do both. So there's that. But yeah, it looks interesting. It looks really cool. And again, it is. I might just get it because it is cool to see From Software do something that isn't Soulsborne. And buying this would mean, like, you know, we like Soulsborne because, you know, Dark Souls, Elden Ring, Bloodborne, Demon Souls, Sekiro, they all sell very well and they're all really good. But if we buy this, it shows From Software, like, hey, you know, you can do more Soulsborne games, but also maybe try some other stuff. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Another thing is I was gonna have this as a bigger topic, but I wasn't quite sure how to if I was able to talk about it that much, just because I don't know how much I have to say about it. But Gamescom is happening, of course, as it does every year. It kind of changed because Jeff Keighley took it over, and now it's a Jeff Keighley show. But last time he put on a show was the Game Awards, and the Game Awards was pretty solid. So maybe he's listening. Jeff Keighley, like, you know, he tries to make this somewhat Hollywood, and a lot of people don't like it, but I actually kind of, like, I don't like the execution necessarily, but I like the idea. He's trying to make, like, gaming a bit more prestigious. That's how I see it. But you know, the Game Awards, Summer Games Fest, Gamescom end up going on for like an hour or two too long, you know. But the Game Awards, even though it was still pretty long, it was jam-packed with action and reveals and awards that were given proper fanfare. Summer Games Fest is coming this year, and like it's the year that E3 is like not happening. So many people are saying that, like, you know, Summer Games Fest is the E3 killer. And then Gamescom is happening as well, that Jeff Keighley's hosting. So I'm, like, seeing how the Game Awards was, I hope he keeps up that pace, like a similar pace with Summer Games Fest and with Gamescom. But I kind of went a little off track because that wasn't the reason I brought up Gamescom. Nintendo has not been at Gamescom for... I don't even know if they ever have. Have they? Well, if they have, it hasn't been for a while. But it has been announced that they're going to be at Gamescom this year. So they're not going to have like a Nintendo Direct or like an E3 showcase because E3 is not going to happen. Maybe they'll have an E3 or not an E3, a Nintendo Direct in June. But then if they don't, I can see them having some sort of presentation for August, because like at Gamescom, because Gamescom is in August. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's either July or August. So, and that would be interesting because, you know, we know they got Tears of the Kingdom, and then in July they have Pikmin 4. It's like we don't really know what they have after that. And it's like usually, even if they don't have anything like confirmed, like with a hard date coming out in the second half of the year, you know, there's still some games where it's like, that's most likely going to be like in September or October or something. But they don't really have anything, you know? All they have left that we know are coming out this year is Tears of the Kingdom, which is in May, a couple weeks actually, I cannot wait. Pikmin 4, which is July, and that's it. You could say Metroid Prime 4, which, like, we gotta see that game sooner rather than later. But yeah, Nintendo's gonna be at Gamescom, and I'm interested to see what they have there. As for other smaller news topics, while on the subject of Nintendo, this is gonna be a bigger topic, but I don't know if I feel like it's a little old, like, but maybe not, because Nintendo will keep doing this. There's a YouTuber by the name of Point Crow. I'd seen him and I'd heard of him, but I'd never really watched his content before. But he makes a lot of videos of like Breath of the Wild mods and stuff like that. Nintendo went around taking down a bunch of his videos. And it is like absolutely absurd. Like he got, like, it's 3 strikes and you're out, but he got like think it's like he got more than 3 strikes and he's still up. It's like, it's really weird. It's a weird situation, and it's unfortunate. Like, Nintendo, it's so weird, you know. And they were striking down videos of his that were not mods, which is also weird. And I don't have much to say about this. Like, I feel like everyone else has already talked about it. Nintendo is, like, and here's the thing. They, like, I listened to, he appeared on the Nintendo podcast. Pretty good podcast, by the way. And I found out a lot more about the situation. He said, like, you know, it's against the guidelines to be making videos about, you know, using their gameplay of their games. Is it? Because I remember, like, a while ago, they would, like, copyright claim a bunch of, like, videos of mine where I didn't even have, like, a capture card. I used, like, a fucking camera. You know, it was it was potato, that's what it was. Potato cam, you know. And they would get claimed. And then I remember eventually they stopped doing that. Like, they announced that, like, hey, we're not going to be doing this anymore. But they still, like, go after mod channels and stuff. But if they're just simply claiming videos of Point Crow, where it's just, he's just playing a game, it's like a Let's Play almost. No mods, no, like, copyrighted material, he's just playing the game. That seems targeted. I don't know. Nintendo, it seems like this is happening more and more. So I don't know. Maybe by next month's episode, there'll be more accounts of them doing this. So who knows? Anyways, one more brief topic. Oh no, two more. One I gotta is this. I'm not gonna talk about this that much because I don't know how much I have to say about this. But we got a new PS5 reveal, like a new themed PS5, and it is Final Fantasy 16 themed. And it honestly looks fucking sick. It like the PS5 console itself. Like usually when you get a, I think this might be like their bundles. You know, your PS5 bundles. There's a bundle with Ratchet and Clank, with God of War, with Horizon, obviously, but with this, like, obviously, yeah, it's a bundle, but also, like, it's a PS5, it's a Final Fantasy 16 themed PS5. I don't think, like, we have any PS5, you know, recolors officially. Like, they're the fan-made ones that got struck down by Sony. The PS5 console, though, that this comes with looks sick. The controller looks so cool, but it's only in Japan. So I wasn't gonna buy it because I already have a PS5. I'm not like, I don't collect consoles, you know. I don't collect multiple versions of the same console. I just don't have the money for that. But I would have found a way to get a controller. The controller, because that looks fucking awesome. But even then, controllers cost way too fucking much. Yeah, it looks cool, and it just reminded me, I wasn't going to talk about this, but, and I don't know how long I'll talk about this for, but Redfall, Xbox controllers that have a Redfall theme were announced and shown, and they look awesome! They look so cool, and they're $85 each! It's like, fuck off, I'm not buying that. So why do controllers cost so much? I don't understand, you know? Because, like, I understand why maybe they wouldn't be, like, you know, that cheap, but $85 more than a fucking game? Like, I don't get that. But yeah, that's my thoughts. And one more brief topic. CinemaCon is happening, and I was gonna do, like, some more stuff on that, but I don't know. I feel like I haven't seen too much come out that is worth me talking about, except for the new trailer for The Flash. And I just want to say, like, you know, all the controversy behind the movie aside, you know, you have the huge like production issues behind the scenes that had this movie in production for like 10 years, by the way. And then on top of all that, you have Ezra Miller, who's like the worst PR nightmare any company can have. This movie looks awesome. I cannot wait to see this movie. I've heard like early reports that it is one of the best comic book movies of all time. I've heard people say it is like almost, if not just as good as Spider-Man No Way Home. And it definitely has like, but from watching the trailers, it definitely has like a similar feel where it's like, you know, nostalgia. You know, you get to see all these older characters, you know, Michael Keaton as Batman. That's getting overshadowed by Ezra Miller being a huge problem, but Michael Keaton is back as Batman. That's insane. Cause do I need to explain why? And then you have General Zod coming back. Plus, there'll be more characters, more cameos and stuff. You have Supergirl in there. You have two Flashes. Like they're showing all this stuff in the trailer. By the way, I want to see. I'm interested to see the stuff they're not showing. But also, like the setup and the premise is interesting. You know, it's not just cameos. It's not just I want to see this for the cameos. It's like, you know, Barry wants to go back in time to save his parents. That's like, you know, that's understandable. And then on top of all that, you have all this multiverse stuff. So yeah, that is I'm really excited for it. I've seen a lot of people say, like, why is Ezra Miller still the Flash? You know, and that was an issue I had, like, years ago when that video of him choking a woman in, like, Iceland first went out. And, because, like, I don't understand. It's still a mystery to me why Warner Brothers went completely silent. They did not say anything about that. But, like, with Johnny Depp, they, like, yeeted him out of the company. And Amber Heard's... I heard Amber Heard is coming back to Aquaman. And here's the thing about both Amber Heard in Aquaman and The Flash, or Ezra Miller in The Flash. These movies were already shot. You know? I feel like Amber Heard, like... I feel like her role has been reduced. Like, those are some reports. I don't know how credible they are, but even then, like... Even that she was not, like, a main character. But... in the case of Ezra Miller, like... This movie has been in production for, like I said, almost 10 years. I don't know if you guys really know that, but it's been in production for almost 10 years. And, like, on top of all that, then all this stuff about Ezra Miller started happening. But, like, they already shot the movie. The movie's already shot, and Ezra Miller is in, like, just about every scene of the movie. So, and I'm sorry, they're not gonna, like, they should have, like, at least said something about it. I'm with you guys when you say, like, Warner Brothers should have at least addressed this. Because, like, I don't understand, like, what is the harm in addressing it? But they're not going to announce now, when the movie is out in, like, a little more than a month. They're not going to announce now that Ezra Miller is out as the Flash. The movie's going to come out. I think it's going to do very well. And then they're going to announce that Ezra Miller is no longer going to be the Flash. Because I already think he's gone. I already think Ezra Miller is, like, it's a done deal. Ezra Miller is not coming back to be the Flash. And you see, like, they're not doing any press for the movie. Ezra Miller, like, even the most recent trailer, it seemed like the focus was Michael Keaton's Batman, not the Flash. So Ezra Miller's not coming back. But let's not let that distract from the fact that this movie looks awesome. So, now we got some bigger topics. One such topic is, the Microsoft Activision acquisition deal. And here's the thing about this. I'm so fucking sick of so I'm trying to find, there's like a Bloomberg report that I had but it went away. But yeah, I'm so fucking sick of hearing about this. Because it's just, this whole thing has been between Microsoft and Sony, and they're fighting over Activision, the CMA, FTC, UK regulators, all getting involved. In case you guys haven't been following along, in January of 2022, it was announced that Microsoft are buying Activision Blizzard for $69 billion. And so that's like probably one of the biggest pieces of news in gaming history. I think it's fair to say. But throughout the past year, and it's almost like a year and a half now, it's just been a back and forth between Sony and Microsoft, because Sony's complaining that Microsoft are stealing Activision from PlayStation, specifically Call of Duty. You have stuff like, PlayStation. Obviously, none of this stuff I'm about to name are as big as Call of Duty, but they have Final Fantasy is exclusive to the PlayStation. The new Silent Hill game, the Silent Hill 2 remake, is exclusive to PlayStation. And they're announcing all this stuff while complaining that Microsoft is taking an exclusive away from them. Obviously, Call of Duty's way bigger than Final Fantasy, and it's night and day when you compare how popular Call of Duty is to Silent Hill, right? But then I remember at one point it was kind of finalized or something like that. I remember just a few weeks ago they announced something. It was something was finalized or something was resolved, but now it has been blocked by UK regulators. And I have this from Bloomberg. I'm just going to read this excerpt. Bloomberg Intelligence Senior Technology Analyst Anurag Rana discusses Microsoft's $69 billion takeover of Activision Blizzard being vetoed by British antitrust watchdog in a potentially fatal blow for the gaming industry's biggest deal ever. Okay, this isn't really going to talk about the thing. Alright, looking at The Verge, Microsoft's $68.7 billion deal to acquire Activision Blizzard has been blocked by the UK's Competition and Markets Authority, or CMA. After months of analyzing 3 million Microsoft and Activision documents and more than 2,100 emails from the public, the CMA has concluded that the deal could, in quotes, alter the future of the fast-growing cloud gaming market, leading to reduced innovation and less choice for UK gamers over the years to come. Microsoft says it will appeal the decision, but it's a blow to Microsoft's hope of acquiring Activision Blizzard and will likely prevent the company closing its giant deal if an appeal is unsuccessful. In quotes, Microsoft has a strong position in cloud gaming services, and the evidence available to the CMA showed that Microsoft would find it commercially beneficial to make Activision's games exclusive to its own cloud gaming service, says the CMA. The CMA estimates that Microsoft controls around 60 to 70% of global cloud gaming, and cloud gaming services. Like, why do I keep reading that wrong? And that adding control over Call of Duty, Overwatch, and World of Warcraft would give Microsoft a significant advantage in the cloud gaming market. Microsoft has attempted to address concerns around cloud gaming in the lead up to this decision. The software giant signed cloud gaming deals with Boosteroid, Ubisoft, and Nvidia to allow Xbox PC games. The CMA has examined these deals. I can't fucking read today. What the fuck's wrong with me? But that they can contain a number of significant shortcomings in cloud gaming services. The CMA says the deals are too limited in scope, with models that meant gamers had to acquire the right to play games by purchasing them on certain stores or subscribing to certain services. The deals didn't include agreements for Microsoft providing access to these games in rival multi-game subscription services, or the ability for rival to offer versions of games on PC operating systems other than Windows. So yada yada yada. It's basically just a bunch of stuff. So I had to pause for a second. It's basically just a bunch of words about how it's harmful for cloud gaming services, which, I mean, I feel like most of you watching do not give a shit about cloud gaming services, but there are people who think, there are analysts that think that that is the future for gaming, and what a dark future that is. But here's the thing. It's not about that. It's about exclusives, and not even that. It's about Call of Duty. And that was probably what was, when I said things got resolved, that was probably what was resolved. The Call of Duty situation. Like Sony saying, it's not gonna be, it's gonna be exclusive. They're not gonna have it come to PlayStation. Microsoft be like, yeah, well, we'll have it be multiplat. Sony like, yeah, well, you said that about Starfield and Redfall. But like, you know, there's a difference between Starfield and Redfall and Call of Duty. Microsoft would be fucking stupid not to keep Call of Duty multi-platform. And the benefit for them is they put it on Game Pass. I'm fucking sick of hearing about this. Have the deal go through, don't have the deal go through, whatever. I'm sick of this. Because it's like, it's Sony being like, we don't have anything to compete with Microsoft. It's not like we just bought Bungie and have access to Destiny, we don't have anything. And Microsoft being like, no, we don't have anything. And it's like, come on. I'm sick of hearing about this, and competition's good for everybody. And here's the thing, we have more competition, you know. Think of Activision for just a minute. Even though they're big, they have a lot of money, and Bobby Kotick's dumb fucking frog-looking ass face is still there, alright? And he's still collecting paychecks, and who knows what type of shenanigans he's still pulling there. They might go under if this doesn't work. Because, like, that's a whole discussion in and of itself, but, like, Activision, they kind of need someone to buy them, because they are losing money in other ways. So, maybe, I still think this is going to go through. It's not particularly that, like, you know, I'm rooting for this to go through, but it's more so, like, I actually do think it will go through. Maybe not for $69 billion. But, look, the fact of the matter is, like, I've heard this is going to get resolved by, like, maybe June of this year. And, I want it to fucking get resolved already, because I'm sick of hearing about this. I really am. It's one thing after another. It's Sony says this, Microsoft counters that. Sony's like, yeah, well, fuck you. And Microsoft's like, yeah, well, we win. And then the CMA comes in and is like, fuck both of you. It's like, I don't know what to say. It is a pretty big deal, you know. I feel like I've actually like kind of avoided talking about it on here. Not that I've avoided it, it's more so that like every time a big development in the story comes out, it won't line up with a new episode of the podcast. This time it does, but I'm sick of hearing about this. Can we get this resolved already? Can Microsoft and Sony get back to doing whatever they do? Sony, grow up. You know, there's you're taking Final Fantasy, you're taking Silent Hill, you're taking Stellar Blade, which was originally supposed to be multi-platform, but they snatched that as an exclusive for some reason. You know, you're taking all these games that are obviously, admittedly, not as big as games like Call of Duty or Overwatch or WoW, but you're still doing that. You still look like a hypocrite, but that got resolved. Can this get resolved already? I'm sick of hearing about this. Alright, moving on to the next topic. We got a new movie coming out in, like, a week. I love Guardians of the Galaxy. And, like, my two favorite MCU movies are Infinity War and Endgame. But, alright, sorry, I had to get up for a second. I hate allergy season, by the way, and I'm trying my best not to be gross on here, but, yeah, I kind of forgot what I said last, but I was talking about how Infinity War and Endgame are my two favorite MCU movies. Wow, look at me. But I think third is Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one. The second one, I don't think is as good as the first one, but, like, second one, I feel like is a little underrated. You know, that one is really good. Again, not as good as the first one. It has a bit of, like, a problem with its villain. Like, I think Ego is pretty good, but, like, it has, like, 3 different villains in each act. But I still really liked it. I really liked the movie. And now we're getting the third one. And this is going to be the final Guardians of the Galaxy movie, or at least, you know, the last one with James Gunn and the last one with a lot of these. It seems like an emotional ride. I cannot wait. But we're going to have some characters dying. And who will die? I have everybody. I'm going to go through the entire list of characters. It's everyone on the poster that I think. It's like every character. I'm going by the characters I see on the poster. There is like 8 characters. So we're gonna start off with characters I don't think are gonna die. Cosmo the super dog, or the space dog. No, I mixed up Cosmo and Crypto. Crypto the super dog. Cosmo the space dog. Like he is, it seems to be that they're actually adding him in as a new member of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and like he was in the holiday special. Didn't have the biggest role, but you know he's in the poster and he has his own character poster. And I don't think they're gonna kill him off. I think he's probably the safest one out of all of them to not get killed off. Because you're just introducing him. I don't even know how big of a role he's going to have. That reason, not having the biggest role, maybe they might kill him off. But, like, you know, killing off the cute dog. I mean, that would get, you know, a reaction. But, like, I feel like there are definitely more deaths you can use for this movie. I don't think you should waste it on Cosmo. Sorry about that. Again, allergy season. Got the throat. Got the itchy throat. So I have my water with me. So yeah, Cosmo I think is safe. Groot. I don't think Groot's gonna die. Because there's a fucking spit on the screen. I don't think Groot's gonna die because I think he's... What am I saying? Yeah, we already seen him die twice, And we've kind of seen this dude get reborn. Maybe, like, if you do kill him off, it's not, like, it's kind of superficial because, we killed him off in the first movie, but... So we killed him off in the first movie, but he came back as Baby Groot and then Teenage Groot. Now he's like Swole Groot. But again, we've already kind of hit that point where we've seen him die in the first movie. He got snapped in in Infinity War. I think you use the death on other characters for a similar reason. I don't think we're gonna kill off Gamora, especially since this is a different Gamora than the one that already died in Infinity War. I think this one, you want her to reunite with Star-Lord or meet Star-Lord or Peter again. You know what I mean? Excuse me. And it would kind of be a little unsatisfying if she dies and then Star-Lord doesn't get to have the moment kind of getting back together / meeting this new Gamora. That would be a little unsatisfying. It would be It would be sad for Star-Lord, but like as a whole, I feel like it would be unsatisfying. I think this Gamora stays alive. I also think Mantis stays alive. I feel like she's always kind of just been there. You know what I mean? When you're talking about the Guardians of the Galaxy, I feel like she was an interesting, kind of funny character in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 when they introduced her. And, like, a lot of the jokes they made about when they made fun of her was funny. But, like, in Infinity War, when she's with all the other Guardians, she's kind of just there. In Endgame, when she's with all the other Guardians, she's kind of just there. But in the holiday special... they actually made her a bit more interesting. Like, this definitely shot her up on my character ranking for sure. I don't have a character ranking. But like, she's definitely, I like her a lot more now. Just because after the holiday special, like, she's kind of the main character so it's like, and also the reveal about how she's Star-Lord's sister was, you have a dynamic between her and Star-Lord. So yeah, I don't think they're gonna kill off Mantis because I feel like she just became like an interesting character. So yeah. Then there's Kraglin, and I feel like he can go either way. He's not like there really isn't much to point towards him dying in the trailers. But also, I feel like he's not that big of a character, which is a reason to kill him off, and also a reason not to kill him off, because you can do more with him, maybe. But also, I feel like you can give him sort of an arc, But I don't know. He can go either way. Now we get to the 4 that I think could be on the chopping block. Excuse me. I'm fucking nasty today. I'm sorry. We got Star-Lord. Star-Lord, I don't think he's gonna die. But, like, I can totally see them doing that. Like, I can definitely see that happening. It would be very emotional, but at the same time, I did just say it would be kind of unsatisfying if they kill off Gamora and not, like, give Star-Lord a happy ending with Gamora. And I mean, if you kill off Star-Lord, he definitely cannot have that happy ending with Gamora because he's dead. But also, he starts off you get a bit of an arc with him. He starts off as a bit of like a goofball who's kind of out of his element, but now, say he does like he sacrifices himself to save everybody else. That's a good arc, especially since a lot of people say he was the real villain of Infinity War, where he beat up Thanos after finding out that Gamora was dead, and Thanos was almost beaten, and then then he fucked everything up. This would be a good course correction, a good way to redeem himself. Nebula. I can see Nebula dying. Because this is... it's also a different Nebula, I think. It was a little confusing. This is a different Nebula. I remember now. And she was originally kind of like... not a villain, but somewhat of like an antagonist, But now she's like friends with everyone. She's a part of the team. And it would be a good arc for her to, sacrifice herself. And then there's the two I think are most likely. The second place I think is Rocket. Because we're going to find out a lot about Rocket's backstory. And they give him a lot of, like, in the trailers, they make it seem like he's the most obvious to die. They make it seem like he's going to die. Where he says, I'm done running. The reason why I don't have him at number 1 is because they're making it too obvious he's going to die. It will be emotional either way to kill off the cute little raccoon. But I feel like it's too obvious. It could be misdirect, but also maybe not. The character I think is most likely going to die, though, is Drax, because, like, Dave Bautista said that he's done playing Drax after this movie. So even if he doesn't die, it's like, we're not seeing Drax. We're probably not going to see Drax again. And also, I feel like after Thanos has died, he's kind of just been there, Because, like, his whole point was that he wanted to kill Thanos for what he did to his family, but now Thanos is dead, So yeah, that's what I think. Those are the characters. That's my what am I even saying? That's me rating the likelihood of each character in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 dying. What do you guys think? Anyways, in some other news, we got... I just want to talk about Street Fighter 6, the demo. I actually don't... I made this one of the bigger topics, but I don't know how much I have to say about this, really. I cannot wait for Street Fighter 6 to release. But they released a demo last week, and I've been playing it, and it's awesome. The story mode is actually pretty cool. The character creator is a little cursed. I made a character that is absolutely fucking... I don't even know if I want to show you guys. Not that it's inappropriate, but it is very cursed. But the gameplay... the game feels so nice. Excuse me. The game feels so fucking nice. It feels like... one weird thing is that you have a choice... excuse me. You have a choice between, like, modern controls or classic controls. The classic being, like, you do, like, an input command to do, like, a Hadouken, but the modern being, like, you just press a certain button to do a Hadouken. Most people are going to want to do the classic controls. But, like, the modern controls, there we go. That is... They're trying to say that... Like, they're trying to tout this Street Fighter game as, like, the new Street Fighter. The Street Fighter for the modern era. But, so, no, I don't know why I said but. There is no but, really. So, that's a way to do it. That's a way to entice new players. Because when I first started playing Street Fighter, I've gotten used to it. I've gotten accustomed to it, eventually. But when I first started to play Street Fighter, the input commands were like, what the fuck is this? Why can't I just press a button by doing and do a Hadouken? But obviously I've played a lot more Street Fighter since then, and it's changed. But, the game feels so nice. The game looks amazing. Like, this is a demo. The game's not out yet, and it's not going to be out for another, like, 2 months. I feel like we're getting closer to just a month. But, like, this is actually, like, crazy. That a demo for a game that comes out in, like, 2 months looks and feels and sounds and just everything is just this good. You know, it's actually, like, I'm amazed. I really feel like they can release this game now. You know, they can just surprise launch the game. And, I mean, like, there's some games I'm playing for the next few weeks, so I'd rather this come out by itself. Which it is. It's going to. They're not going to... I'm just saying, hypothetically, if they wanted to, like, just surprise launch this game, I think it'd be ready. But they want to keep hyping us up. Maybe they'll announce some DLC characters soon. You know, there's still Rashid and Akuma and some of the other characters that were leaked. You know, maybe they can have in Vega or M. Bison, you know, as DLC. Or Balrog as DLC. But this game looks so good. I cannot wait to play it, and I could play it, although I can only play as Ryu and Luke. But you know, I want to play as more characters. I want to play as some of the new characters like Jamie or Kimberly or JP. You know, and like Cammy, of course, Ken, and Vega are like. I like to get a new main every game. That's just how I roll. A newcomer as my main. But like Cammy, Ken, and Vega are like the characters I usually play in Street Fighter throughout all games. But poor Vega, he's not here. But Cammy and Ken are back. I don't know what else to say. This game, it's already great. One thing I want to talk about is the music. The music's not bad. You know, all things considered, the music is really good, but it doesn't fit. Or not that it doesn't fit, but like I feel like all the characters, like Ryu, Ken, Guile, all have some iconic music. When you hear it, it's like, that's Ryu, that's Guile, that's Ken, you know? Now they have new music, and, you know, obviously a lot of people hated Marvel vs. Capcom 2's music. A lot of people hated Third Strike's music, but now a lot of people love that. But when it originally happened, it was not quite like that. So people will definitely grow on the music over time, but like, I feel like it's just, like they're doing so much right. Like everyone, I feel like so many people are in an agreement on so many things about this game already, about how good it looks. And then there's just the music. Like I like imagine how cool. Like a lot of the music already sounds great. But imagine how good a lot of it could have been if it was like a remix of Ryu's theme or Ken's theme. You know. Oh, that would have been amazing. But whatever. The music's not bad. The game is fucking so much fun. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait to play the full game when it comes out on June 2nd. Please get here. But yeah, moving on from that, we got another thing. I don't know how much I'll have to say about it. We're actually going a lot longer than I thought. I mean, we're not an hour in yet, but I don't know. But at the time of recording, Star Wars Jedi Survivor comes out tomorrow. I really fucking hope my copy comes tomorrow. You know, I've been pre-ordering games from Walmart. And they've been pretty good until recently, where one item got lost in transit, and I got my money back for that and everything. But I really hope I don't have to get this game digitally, as I'll explain later. I hope it just comes tomorrow. Yeah, Star Wars Jedi Survivor comes out tomorrow. The reviews have been glowing. I've seen a couple of 10 out of 10s or 5 stars, but mostly like 8 to 9s. Which is still really good. A lot of people say, like, oh, fuck you, GameSpot, you gave it an 8. Guys, an 8's good! What are you talking about? An 8 out of 10 is good! How's that bad? Is it just because it's lower than what everyone else has been giving it? Oh, yeah, just... Oh, that's... What I'm going to talk about is the file size for this game. So, even if you get the game physically, which I am getting it, physically, let's hope it comes, because the order has not updated to shipping yet. So, but let's say you get it physically. There's still a good chunk of the game, I believe, that you need to install. You know, the game's gonna be massive. The file size is massive, and you know, like I've already like deleted or uninstalled a bunch of stuff on my PS5 just cause like, you know, obviously I'm trying to clear up some space for the game, but like also there's a bunch of games that I've finished a while ago, haven't really played that much recently. I go back to them, but like, you know, so I uninstall them just to clear up space because they're pretty big games. And so now there is Jedi Survivor that comes out. I thought I'd have more things to say about Jedi Survivor being so big. Like, I want to know what's in this game if this file size is that big. Like, why is the file size so big? Why do I need to clear up so much space? Why does the game still require a download, like a major download, if I'm getting it physically? What's in this game? That's what I'm curious about. That's what I want to know. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Jedi Survivor's file size. Apparently, I read a post from, I think it was like, I think it was VGC. I don't quite remember that, but like, there's some stuff that isn't finished in the game, and they're gonna patch it up within the coming weeks. So I don't like that much, but like, the game still got some really good reviews, and I don't think they got like different versions, different copies of the game. I don't think this is like a cyberpunk situation or some shit. So let's hope the unfinished stuff in that game is not as bad as it is for a lot of other games. But yeah, I can't wait to play it. And yeah. Moving on, there is another thing I want to talk about, and that is this. Power Rangers. I'm not the biggest fan of Power Rangers. There's other stuff like, you know, I find it to be very similar to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which I definitely have more of an attachment to than Power Rangers. But Power Rangers last week, I'm a bit late on this, which is why I'm not going to dwell on this too long. But last week, there was a reunion kind of special movie on Netflix called Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Once and Always. And to give a little perspective, I went into this a little differently because I'm a lot younger. My birthday's actually coming up, and soon I'm going to release a new video. My favorite game from each year I've been alive, and you'll actually find out how old I'm turning. And it's definitely not old enough to be watching the original Power Rangers show when it was out. But I still watched Power Rangers and stuff. I just don't have as much of an attachment to it. But, like, you know, I've heard a lot of people were watching this one, and I wanted to watch it because even though I'm not the biggest fan, I don't have that much of an attachment to Power Rangers, watching the trailer gave me a bit of, like, you know, nostalgia. You know what I mean? So I watched the movie, and it's decent. Here's the thing. I wasn't quite sure what to expect. I wasn't sure if it was going to be like a cast reunion get together, like how that they did that with Friends or Harry Potter. Like, I wasn't sure if it was going to be like that, or if it was going to be like a movie that's like about you know, the Power Rangers, but they're all older, and it was the latter. But you know, it's definitely the older Power Rangers show, but like now. And some like there's some things that they carried over that I don't think as aged very well. Not that like it's offensive or anything like that, but I mean like stuff where it's like things have just gotten so much better. Shows, movies have gotten so much better, and there's also the big caveat that not all the cast members decided to come back. Most notably like. You got the Pink Ranger and the Green Ranger. Jason, David Frank, and I'm sorry, I forget the Pink Ranger's name. I feel like I should know though. Amy Jo Johnson, that was her name. Yeah, her and Jason David Frank didn't come back. God damn it. Sorry, you heard a little bit of that. I keep getting fucking texted. But yeah, they didn't come back. And, there's something about specifically Jason David Frank not coming back. And, this could have been the last time we ever see him as the Green Ranger, as Tommy, before he tragically passed away. But... Okay, yeah, but it's also just the two most popular Power Rangers by far. Like, they're without question the two most popular ones. Not coming back. That's a little disappointing. But they did what they could with who they had. Specifically, they had David Yost and Walter Jones, the Black Ranger and the Blue Ranger coming back. Walter Jones, actually, he was actually really good. David Yost, look, nothing against the guy, but I don't know, he seemed a little, he didn't really seem too into it during this. But I'm not going to spoil it that much, even though it is a fairly short movie, but it's a nice little, nostalgia trip. It's not trying to be anything crazy. It got some mixed reviews from the critics. The dialogue, I do agree, the dialogue was pretty cheesy. Especially one character in particular had some it wasn't just the it was her line delivery. I thought was very odd. That's also kind of part of the charm. Not so much the line delivery, but the dialogue being cheesy. It was a fun time. If you grew up with Power Rangers, I think you will love it. And yeah, that's what I have to say about that. Then I have another thing to talk about. You all know I am a WWE guy, a wrestling guy. The latest episode on this show is a full recap of WrestleMania. And I think that I still think it is maybe amongst the top 10 greatest WrestleManias of all time. And I feel like had it not ended the way it did, it might be top 5 for most people. Part of the issue with that was Roman Reigns. He has both titles, the Universal Champion and the WWE Champion. So it's he's got 2 titles, and he's on one brand, and even when he's on the one brand, he's barely there. And they're doing a brand split, which a lot of people don't like the idea of the brand split, but I do like the idea, because it's you have a very big roster, and, especially with bringing back so many people, calling so many people up from NXT, of course, bringing back a lot of released wrestlers, you have more depth, you have more talent, and a lot of them don't get used. And obviously, if certain storylines are doing numbers, they get to be on both shows. I've heard that argument, but it's but also, I feel for the past few weeks, Raw and SmackDown has been ending with the Bloodline and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens and Matt Riddle, and or maybe throw in the Judgment Day and the LWO. It's every single show has just been crowded by that. So that's why I think it is a good idea to do the brand split. But now they announced that whatever brand that Roman Reigns isn't going to will be getting a new world title. They're calling it the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And I want to say, before I talk about anything else, the title looks awesome. It's like they took the big gold belt, they made it smaller, but put like a big WWE logo on it. And obviously you got to have the branding on there. But it's not like the WWE Championship or the it's not like any of the 4 main world champions, the 2 men's titles and the 2 women's titles. It's not like that, where it's basically just a giant corporate logo as on a belt. It's not like that. It's not what it is. It's an actual belt that has the WWE logo on it. But the thing is, the obvious thing. This isn't the first time they've introduced a new world title for brand split. But the first time they did that was during the first brand split, when Brock Lesnar took the WWE title to SmackDown. Raw was left without a world title, so they made the World Heavyweight Champion. And then the next brand split, Raw again was left without the WWE title, so they made the Universal Champion for Raw. Now, there's still... The thing is, with those, there was 1 world title. Now there's 2, but 1 person has both of them. So what you're doing now is you're not making a second world title, you're making a third. That's the thing. So it seems almost like a bronze medal. It seems like a consolation prize. And the thing is, it's like, Roman's going to hit 1,000 days soon. And then that's when you can start expecting him to lose the title. But the thing is, you have that, then you can split the titles, so why do you need this belt? Well, here's my thing. Here's the reason I think they're doing this. By Roman having both titles, they've written themselves into a corner, obviously. I feel like we all knew that. Because instead of Roman being untouchable and holding 1 belt hostage, he's holding 2 belts hostage. So that's the obvious reason why they wrote themselves into a corner with that. But the other thing is, I don't think anyone's realizing, I didn't even realize it until recently. I feel like at this point, a year after he's holding both titles, you can't have him lose 1, Because how are you going to do that? Like, if you did that, a little sooner after he won, he unified the titles, that's a little different. But now I think it's all of a sudden he can, he had it's 2 titles again, and he has to defend 1 at a time, and then he loses 1. So then obviously you can say, okay, maybe Cody Rhodes can finally dethrone Roman Reigns, and then soon after he loses 1 of the titles, and then now it's 2 titles. But then it's okay, well, when Roman had both of them, it was 1 title, but now Cody gets it, and now all of a sudden it's 2 titles, and just after beating Roman, now he loses 1 of them. That wouldn't seem right. So honestly, I think the best idea, that wouldn't seem so convoluted, would be if... the best idea would have been to not unify the titles, but they did that, and they've done that a year ago. So now the consequence is, what they gotta do is whoever dethrones Roman Reigns, wins both titles, unifies them into 1, and calls it the WWE Universal Champion, but it's still... They kind of retire the Universal Champion, and it's still the lineage of the WWE Champion that's been there for 50, 60 years? But, like, you know, the WWE title is actually called the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. No one calls it that, but when they merged the two titles back in, like, what was it, like 2013, 14? When they merged the two titles, that's what they called it. But it's still the lineage of the WWE, the main WWE title. So that's what I think they're going to do, and then the World Heavyweight Champion is going to be the other title. But then that creates, like, I don't know. That just... Another question is, what is this, like, a brand new lineage for the World Heavyweight Champion? Or is this, like, the big gold belt that was retired back in, like, 2013 being reinstated or whatever, and now that lineage continues? I don't know. That's an interesting question, I feel, but it makes... It's convoluted, and I don't... This is no one's fault, really. I don't think... Because, like, you could just say, you know, take one belt off of Roman. I feel like it's a bit late for that. I don't think there was any right choice, because now this seems like, you know, this is a bronze medal. But, like, the problem... The way you avoid doing this is not having Roman unify the two titles. Like, if that didn't happen, none of this would have happened. So, like, I never thought that was a good idea. A lot of people were actually pretty excited back when that was happening. I never thought that was a good idea. And now, like, it's like Roman is so good, they made another world title. So, it's a bit tricky, but maybe, you know... Maybe it turns out well in the end. Who knows? But yeah, that's my thoughts on that. We've been going for quite a while. I was gonna talk about the Hi-Fi Rush. Microsoft saying that disappointed, but that's kind of like week old news. So I'm not gonna dwell on that too much. Basically, the gist is Microsoft, like, Hi-Fi Rush came out of nowhere and surprised everyone, and it was really damn good. And got a lot of people buying it or installing it because it was on Game Pass, and then Microsoft came out saying that disappointed sales-wise, even though if you put it on Game Pass, it's not gonna... People are gonna get it on Game Pass. You know, I didn't talk... I bought an Xbox Series X recently, and I got Hi-Fi Rush, and I beat it. It's a lot of fun. So, of course, it's... Like, look, for what it is, be happy, because you got a surprise Shadow Drop budget title on, let's be real, like, when it comes to exclusives, the third of the three consoles. And I think it beat out, like, Forspoken. More people played Hi-Fi Rush than Forspoken, which had a whole big-ass marketing campaign. Say what you want about that marketing campaign, but, like, you know, it had, like, months, or maybe even, like, a year of marketing. And then it got beaten out by a budget title that released on Game Pass with a shadow drop, you know? That's something to be proud of, and it's not a disappointment. So that's what I think. But the final topic I have today is a Super Mario Bros. Movie. I'm not going to talk about the movie necessarily. I already made a full review. I was thinking of doing maybe a spoiler talk, but I think we're a bit late on that, so I don't think I'm going to do that. But, the Super Mario Bros. Movie, I thought the movie was going to make bank. But, like, seeing it, it's making a lot of money. Excuse me. And, like, it's broken a whole bunch of records. It's the fastest growing, or, fastest grossing, highest grossing, like, I think animated movie. I think it beat out Frozen 2. Excuse me. It beat out, it's the highest grossing video game movie. There's some other accolades. It made over 800 million, I think. And I don't think it's done yet. You know? I think it's still going to make bank, and I think it's going to hit $1 billion. It's always cool to see a new movie make $1 billion. because that's somewhat of an exclusive club. You know what I mean? So whenever I see a new movie hit that $1 billion, it's like they join the club, you know? And it would be really cool to see a video game movie join the club. Because now it's like... Because it really goes to prove that the video game movie curse is well and truly been lifted. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, Super Mario Bros. Is the most successful video game movie. It's not the best. I think both Sonic movies are better than this. I think Detective Pikachu is better than this. You know, maybe even, like, the original Mortal Kombat movie, which I still a guilty pleasure of mine. I think that one might be better than this, but, like, now you have video game adaptations that are good, so that part of the curse has been lifted. But if this movie can hit $1 billion, I think the curse is truly lifted. It's also like this movie's making money because it's a Mario movie that knows, like, it didn't get good reviews because it doesn't have much of a plot. You know, I remember being told it doesn't have a plot at all. It does have a plot. How thick of a plot it is? It's not a very thick plot, but it does have a plot. So, yeah, not a very thick plot. That's the main thing. That got criticized. It went pretty fast. But at the same time, it's like, if you're a Mario fan, you're going to love this movie. And that's the thing. A lot of video game movies, and shows for that matter, they're like, we know better. We didn't play the games, but, like, we know better. We know how to make a movie. We know how to make a show. So, here's the Halo show. Master Chief takes off his helmet every episode, and he gets laid. Here's Uncharted, where we cut out we cut out Elena, like, a very important character. Here's, you know, the Resident Evil show. Here's all this stuff that, like, you know, this... Say what you want about the Mario movie. It's a Mario movie that seems like it was made for the fans and by some fans. And more video game movies need to be like that. They don't, you know, I say more video game adaptations need to be like The Last of Us, where, you know, you carefully and you, like, you know, give it care. I kind of just said that, but you carefully adapt it. The things you change from game to show, or I guess in some other cases, game to movie, if you want to make a movie, those changes that you make are changes that are necessary in order to adapt the game into a different medium. So more video game adaptations should be like The Last of Us, but also video game adaptations should be like the Mario movie. You know, make it be something that the fans could want to watch. Because I've heard a lot of buzz. There's a reason that I think the two video game adaptations I've heard the most buzz about are the Mario movie and The Last of Us. And that's because they do it right. You know, the Mario movie, like I said, it's not an amazing movie, but as an adaptation, it does it right. And that's how you make these video game adaptations successful. You do it right. You know, you don't act like you know better than the audience that plays the games and knows the stories and all that. So that's what I think. Even though it's probably not going to be my favorite movie of the year by the end of the year, and I don't even think it's my favorite movie of the year so far, if it joins the $1 billion club, I'll be happy. Because I think this movie, despite it not being, like, the best thing in the world, I think it deserves it. And that's crazy. I'm saying that about an Illumination movie. But yeah, that's what I think. What are your thoughts? Anyways, I'm going to wrap this up. Went a little longer than I thought, but I guess I kind of spent a lot of time talking about certain things. Or I had some briefer topics that weren't so brief. But, yeah, that's what I think about all that stuff. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. Thanks for stopping by. Again, maybe I should just stop saying this, but there's a certain guest that I want to get on here. And right now it's finals season. I don't talk about school too much, but finals is coming up. Next month we don't have, we're off next month. So maybe we can make something happen. Let's hope. Well, let's not jinx ourselves. But yeah, that's what I think. If you're on SoundCloud listening to the audio version, go over to my YouTube channel, DPX Solo, subscribe. I upload the full, non-audio versions. Well, it has audio, of course, but the video versions of this podcast with some other stuff as well. There's top 10s, reviews, solo missions. If you're on YouTube, go to my SoundCloud. DPX Talks for about an hour. Go follow me there. And yeah, be back next month with another episode of DPX Talks for about an hour. Bye-bye.